Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna go ride what is called Syracuse. Syracuse is the intermediate adaptive trail. The trail in my previous video is called Klondike. It's all the green trails. Those are also adaptive. Now, because these trails are adaptive, we have to kind of translate this green and blue differently. So we got to think of green and blue for an adaptive cycle, not our traditional greens and blues that the rest of us are used to. And so the green is really, really wide. I actually like it. What makes it fun for me, if you're a faster rider and you're a more fit rider, just go fast on it and you will like it. It's fun. It's like flowy, rolling. There's some things you can catch air on, things like that. There isn't really anything that I would call a jump on there, but you can make jumps out of the rollers and stuff like that. Now, Syracuse, which I have ridden but I haven't filmed yet, I'm going to film that just not right now for you guys, is a little bit narrower, but it's still an adaptive trail. So I would personally say that it's still a green trail for the rest of us, and it's more challenging for an adaptive cyclist. So just be aware of that, but it has a few more challenges in it. It's got a rock garden, it's got a tabletop jump in there, a couple other little hits and things. It's pretty fun. So let's go ahead and film that. Unfortunately, there are 4 sections of trails. These are the only 2 that are open. There was a storm that came through Memorial Day weekend. I've seen some of the damage along this trail that they cleared out, and it went over the lake and took out a bunch of trees on the trails that are not adaptive trails. So once those open, I will be up here to review those also, and that'll add more challenge because there's actually a more advanced trail in that section also. So let's go ahead and hit Syracuse. It's about 3 miles long. Super fun trail. And what I like is for beginner riders, somebody that's being introduced to mountain biking or has little experience, these are the trails that introduce them on and get them addicted. And then Syracuse will be the next level of, wow, this is really fun for those people. Awesome, let's go hit the trail. Okay, so here we are. This is the split off to Syracuse. So the trail that I'm on here is called Klondike. This is the green adaptive trail, and you can see it has a blue indicator. It says more difficult adaptive. So keep that in mind, more difficult adaptive. For us, it's gonna be what I would consider a green trail. So we're gonna go hit this trail, but if you are looking for it, it's off of Klondike. Because you will more likely be coming from the trailhead, not from where I always come from. So cool. All right, let's go hit this trail. It should be fun. So here we go, right turn onto Syracuse. So this is just a short trail. It'll cross the road up here. But you can see already that it's a little narrower. I will warn you, there's gonna be a little bit of rattling from the front of my bike. That is the XT brake pads that I have to mitigate somehow, and I don't know how to do it yet. So if you know, please comment and let me know how to quiet those brake pads. All right, here we are back on the trail. Just crossed the road, and it is nice and flowy. Good stuff. It's a little less of that kind of Cayuna shale stuff, more dirt-like, I would like to say. And away we go. So this is a really nice trail to take a beginner to the next level up. A little bit more climbing, a little narrower, but not so narrow that it's scary, and so on and so forth. Notice there was a ride around on the right, because not everybody should have to take that little drop. So just a little explanation about this area is anywhere there's a feature like this, there's a nice ride around. That's not just some afterthought ride around. That's a well-designed turn. So people who don't want to do this kind of stuff can just keep their flow going. And I like that about this trail. So I'm not going to show you every ride around and all the features. I just want you to know, if you ride this trail, you will not be forced to do any of this stuff that I will be showing in the video. You'll always have a nice ride around option. Here's a nice little roll option that almost anybody can do that. It's literally like 3 or 4 inches raised. Here's a fun little table. Woo-hoo. Yeah. So after that table, it just gets nice, fun, and flowy. We're gonna come upon the area where we had some weather come through. You can see all these trees down, and this is why these trails took a little longer to open. But there's an area up ahead that's worse than that. There's a little rock hit coming up. It's pretty fun. Right here. Woo. Here is where we think a tornado must have come through. This is crazy. See how many trees are down. And there is some climbing here. It's not brutal climbing, but definitely a little bit of work, but worth it for the little short downhill flow section. More trees down. So wild. Literally about a half mile west of my property. Thank goodness it didn't hit my property. Some more downhill flow. Over here is a big rock garden. Some rollers that you can kind of pop off of. Pretty fun. Oh, that rattling. Wonder if you guys can hear it. Sure you can. Cool little bridge. What I find interesting about this trail is that the more I ride it, this is probably my 5th trip around it, the more I like it. Usually it's the opposite. It's kind of like I get bored with the trail after a while. This one, the first time I rode it, I was kind of like, I don't know. Seems pretty ho-hum. But now that I've kind of learned it and know where the features are and you know how it flows, I actually really like it. And that's the same for the big wide green adaptive trail. At first I was kind of like, wow, this isn't going to be all that awesome, but the more I've ridden it, I picked up speed, go a little faster, and it is a lot more fun. And probably what I'm really excited about is the fact that a beginner can ride this and get this experience without being like super afraid. And there just isn't many trails out there like that. I mean, sure, Cuyuna's got Galloping Goose and Hall Road and stuff. This is even more beginner than those two, as far as like comfort level goes and not having to worry about tight turns and trees and things like that. What's cool about this trail is just how fun and flowy it is. Little hits here and there. Fun. Woo. It just flows. And that's pretty much what this trail is like. Just good fun flow. Nothing super difficult or complicated. Little hits here and there. But nothing big. Which is kind of what a higher skilled green or blue trail, lower skilled blue trail should be like. Well, I'm calling this green. So what this trail does, I'm not going to ride it because I'm going to head that way, but if you continue, it runs back into Klondike, and then you can continue on Klondike and it'll take you back to the main trailhead. So that's it. That is Syracuse, the intermediate adaptive trail here in the Sagamore Unit. Okay, there you have it, Syracuse. It is a fun little trail. The more I ride it, like I said in the video, the more I really start to like it, believe it or not. I take it with more speed. So it's one of those things, I say this a lot. In Minneapolis, there's this trail called, it's Theodore Wirth, but there's a trail, part of that system called the North Loop. And it's actually pretty chill if you just ride at a slower or medium pace. But if you pick up your speed, it suddenly becomes much more challenging because it's narrow. It's got trees, it's got tight turns, things like that. It's much more challenging than this trail I just rode, even at slower speeds. But it's one of those trails where I say speed determines skill. That's what this trail is like too. You can haul on it, and if you're going really fast and you have the fitness to do that, you will have a lot of fun on that trail because it is flow, fun. There's little hits all over the place, things like that. So that's what it is. I wouldn't consider it like something that like a free rider will want to go to or whatever. But for most of us, especially me with kind of a BMX background, it feels very BMX flow like, which I love that kind of trail. So it's not a trail for everybody, but it certainly will be a great trail for a lot of people. I really appreciate your support for my channel. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. Peace.